We have a question that we've been asked 1,000 times, and we're going to read it again. Warm greetings from Mexico. I have a question for you. If incest is prohibited in Islam, meaning the intimate relationship between family members like siblings, then how is the reproduction of the first humans explained if everyone was born from Adam and Eve? Very well. That's a great question. First of all, let's look at what is false. What is false are we can say, silly ideas that were invented. For example, they said that there was a woman from the demons, Lilith, and that Lilith, that demoness, married our father Adam, and from there came a group of wicked children. For example, they said she was a woman from the demons, Lilith, and that Lilith, that demoness, married our father Adam, and from there came a group of wicked children. That's a lie. Or that angels from God came and our grandfather Adam was able to have sex with angels. That's a lie, because angels don't have genitals, they don't have human bodies, nor do they have genitals. So where he would have had sex, he has nothing to have sex with. So it's impossible, they don't have a reproductive system. It's as you say, I've had sex with a wall. You can't reproduce with a wall because it doesn't have a reproductive system. So it's impossible to reproduce with angels. It's like saying that an elephant married an ant and their child was a duck. How can they produce an elephant with an ant? Well, both were able to reproduce. So they went to a daycare. So they brought in an adopted child. The duck was an adopted child. So what happened to our grandfather Adam and our grandmother Eve? The great scholar Allami Tabatabai, who in his book Exegesis of the Holy Quran, called Al-Mizan, indeed explains to us that the norm regarding incest was even present during the time of the Prophet Adam and Eve. But the concept of brotherhood was only defined that way during the time of the Prophet Adam and Eve, which I'm going to tell you about. With each birth of Eve, every time she gave birth, they were twins. 2, I don't know, 3, however many, these twins were siblings. So you mean brotherhood was limited to one birth? Because that's where the genes were being distributed, you understand? The genes of all human beings on earth. So then, our grandmother Eve gave birth 300 times. And each time, each twin was a sibling. That means there was brotherhood. Since there was brotherhood, they couldn't marry because the law of incest also existed. It was forbidden for them to marry, but in another birth, they were siblings, but between them, they could marry. That was an exception to the law, or let's say an extra explanation of the law for the beginning. God wanted to distribute it this way. So from that point on, they can go and get married without any problem. That's what the great scholar Al-Lamutauta says. God, for example, made Adam and Eve from clay as an exception. The rest of us, God didn't make us directly from clay. He takes soil, adds water, and makes clay and creates Eduardo. He does it through a reproductive system, just like in the creative system. That is to say, in the first creation of Adam and Eve, God did that as something extra strange. So in the reproduction of Adam and Eve, he did something strange, different, but it wasn't incest, because we said that brotherhood was limited to those born in one birth. Outside of those twins, they weren't siblings. They were from another generation. Really, they were from another generation. They had different genes. God wanted to distribute the genes of all human beings. Of course, you can see that the Mongols, the Chinese, are different from the Latinos, who are different from the Arabs, Persians, Turks, I don't know, Galicians, the Khazars, from the Russians, from Northern Europe, Southern Africa. They are all different. From the Mapuche, the Quechua, the Aztecs, the Aymara, they are all different. And what about the Chibchas, Chibchas, I don't know if you know about them in Colombia. They are all different, and those are different genes. That was the divine creation. But the rest of the fairy tales, the lies they invented about Lilith, about other things, that our father, Adam, was a traitor, that he betrayed our grandmother, Eva, those are the men who want to betray their women. They invent this story, slandering the prophet Adam to justify their fornications and adulteries. So, when a person talks about Lilith, they grab their lustful hand. Enough with the lies. That's enough. Our father Adam was a family man, a home man, faithful to his wife Eve. So shut up, sir.